Hi, so this is 5-2, adding and subtracting polynomials. So today we're going to learn how to distribute, and we're also going to learn adding. So the first thing I want to recap is some terminology, right? So if you have one term, for example, if you had negative 4x to the second, that's called, right? If you have two terms, that's called a binomial. And then, from there on, basically, you can just call it a polynomial. Uh, Binomials, I think, also count as polynomials. If you remember, poly means many, right? Just think of polygon, right? So that's just some terminology that you should know. So now let's actually go into what we're going to learn today. So the first thing we're going to learn about is the distributive property, and that basically states that A times B plus C is equal to AB plus AC. Alright, so you should probably write this in your notes. AB meaning A times B, AC meaning A times C, and this is A times B plus C, right? So this is called the distributive property. It'll be really important to what we do today. So also, something that you should know is that this also works in the opposite way. So AC, no, not AC, C is also equal to A times B plus C, right? Just you can divide both of them by A, you take that outside, and then you left the B and the C. So now let's do an example, right? Let's do 5 times 4 plus 3. So according to the distributive property, 5 times 4 is 20, 5 times 3 is 15, so the answer is 35. You can check it. 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 times 5 is 35, right? So that's correct. So now let's apply that to polynomials. For example, say if we had this binomial, negative 4 squared minus 2x plus 3x minus 4. Okay, so according to the distributive property, we need to distribute, right? So since there's nothing here, we can distribute a 1, right? Because 1 in multiplication and division is the same as nothing. Right? 1 times anything is that anything, so it doesn't really change the value. So we're basically distributing 1 to take out the parentheses, right? Because we need to take out the parentheses first to just make a giant term, a giant polynomial, right? So we're distributing the 1, and 1 times negative 4 is negative 4, and everything else is the same. We're multiplying just the coefficient because that's the only number, right? Minus 2x, because 2x times 1 is 2x. And then here, plus, right? That's the same as plus 1. So we can distribute a 1, right? So 1 times 3x is 3x. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. So now we can simplify, right? We know that negative 2x plus 3x, that's the same as 1x, right? Or x. Negative 4x squared minus, plus x minus 4. So that is our answer. We're not going to learn to factor. In fact, I don't think we will. Actually, we might do it, but this was supposed to be. We were supposed to do it, but we don't have that much time this summer, so we're gonna skip that unit. So yeah. So This is our answer, negative 4x to the second plus x minus 4. So we'll do one more practice problem. You can kind of just go back if you're missing anything, or if you have any questions, you can ask on the Discord server. But now let's do one with negatives. What is 3x plus 2 minus 7x? Actually, let's do negative 7x 3. Actually, plus 3. Do some variations. Alright, so there's no sign here, right? So we can assume that that's positive. So 1, positive 1. 1 times 3x is 3x. 1 times 2 is 2. And here's negative. So since there's nothing here, we can put a 1 here. So now we have to distribute a negative 1 instead of a positive 1. Right, so negative 1. So by the way, just minus is the same as minus 1, right? So in multiplication and division at least. Multiplying by 1. So negative 1 times negative 7. Negative 1, 7. Oh, no, negative 7x. Here we need to distribute a negative 1. Right, positive 3, right there. 3x minus 2, 3x plus 2, never mind. Minus a negative 1 times negative 7. Two negatives make a positive. So plus 7x. One negative sign, an odd number of negative signs make a negative. So minus 3. So we can combine terms, 3x and 7x. They both have x to the first, right? So we can add them together. 3 plus 7 is 10. 10x. 2, positive 2 minus 3 is equal to negative 1. Answer is 10x minus 1. Alright, so that's all there is today. Work is posted in Google Classroom. It's due on Friday night. Test will also be on Friday. And yeah, polynomials aren't really that hard if you know how to add integers. In fact, probably the hardest part is remembering to distribute the negative 1. In fact, you need to remember that if it's a negative. You need to remember, for example, this minus 5x plus 2, right? This is the same as negative 5x minus 2. Right? Just because it's a plus sign here doesn't mean that the 2 will be positive, right? We have to distribute the negative 1. Negative 1 times positive 2 is a negative 2. Right, so that's all there is today. Yeah, it's pretty simple. And the homework is 10 questions. This might take a bit longer, although it's really just simple math, right? If you know to distribute the 1, you kind of just keep that in your head, and you can probably just do it in your head. Although I definitely recommend using scratch paper just to make sure you don't make a mistake. However, I think all this is manageable in your head, but as I said, on a test, definitely 100% you should be using scratch paper. There's no way you can use your head and still get 100% right. Even if you do, I still want you to use scratch paper just in case you make a mistake, right? We want the highest amount of accuracy on the test. I think you can do, like, if you can't finish in 30 minutes, I probably will let you finish. I don't know. I might give you some extra time this week, but polynomials pretty easy. You can just add integers and you're basically done, right? But we'll also learn to multiply them, which might take more time. Special trinomials, it's more of just identification. It's going to be pretty fast when you know what to do. So that's all there is today. See you tomorrow for 5 trinomials.